And they ain't never connected that bitch.
Never. Crazy. That didn't come with the purchase of the home, bro.
You see what I'm saying? That's how they get you.
Yes, sir. We can build you a theater room, but we're not plugging any media into it.
That up.
Hey, what do you mean?
And you ain't gonna go nowhere because you have to pay a disconnection fee.
That's how they get us, bro.
You're listening to the Hot Seed Podcast.
The Hot Seed.
Welcome all. I'm Sean, along with my co-host Earl.
Yo.
Dave.
Yes, sir.
And you guys know what it is. We're just dads with mics, gamers with headsets, and a whole lot of unfiltered conversation. And as always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seed Podcast. And if you haven't already, I don't know why you're waiting. Make sure you subscribe to the show on YouTube at the Hot Seed Podcast, where you can get all of our shows like what you're watching right now, football talk, hot takes, and whatever we decide to throw into this media bag, man. It is episode 126. What happened to opinions? And there will be some opinions tonight. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're listening or you're watching, you don't have to agree with our opinions. But to let you know, that's the whole point of this episode, is to discuss things that we're going to be opinionated about and understand that everybody is entitled to those opinions. I will also say that sometimes you got to just stop being an asshole and understand that the opinion is probably a good one, and don't go against the grain just because you just wanted to be that guy. The sky's blue, folks. The sky is blue. Don't try to hit me with the green and the yellow or something like that. It's blue. The world is round. Shout out to, my man. What, I don't even know where he playing now. I can't even say Kyrie Irving. Wherever you playing right now. I don't know. He's saging something. Yeah, he's saging something up right now. Anyway, what's going on, fellas? How we doing, man? How we feeling?
Got my Chick-fil-A, baby. I'm good to go.
Got my drink. What? Okay. All right. I'm trying to figure out what that was. Yeah.
Just popped over water right out the background. I know somebody at Chick-fil-A is mad because they gave us our order and then they gave us somebody else's whole drink order plus the ice cream. I said, oh man. They fucked up in our favor.
Ooh, you know what? Hang on to that. Think of that because
all right.
So you didn't drive back around to give it back?
Hell no. She didn't realize that she got halfway home. And then she pulled up. She's like, yeah, they gave me the wrong drinks. I was like, but is the meal right though?
Oh man.
You should have been arrested for not giving it back.
Oh man,
yeah, look, I feel you.
You know what? We typically do our open conversation, but you led into it so well, man. So let's just go ahead and get right onto it right from the jump. Y'all ready? Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Not so breaking news.
So we talked about this offline, and we took this time to really discuss this. So if you guys didn't know, if you're watching the show, okay, there was a woman arrested after she refused in this case to return $1.2 million put into her bank account by mistake. And this story, so this portion, and actually this isn't the right one though. This isn't the one that I just saw. Is this a different one? Or is this just now coming up? Okay, it is. And I guess they're just finally getting this going in this case, but this is retarded. But in any case, because now I feel some type of way because this particular thing that happened. So this story is actually from 2021. So I'm assuming they're still in litigation now because I just got word of this story recently. In any case, so a former sheriff's dispatcher in a suburb of New Orleans has been arrested. Mind you, this story is from 2021. It was weird. Accused of refusing to return more than $1.2 million that had been accidentally deposited into her brokerage account, authorities said. So Kaylin Spadoni, 33, was taken into custody Wednesday on charges of theft valued over $25,000, bank fraud, and illegal transmission of monetary funds. NOLA.com. So this happened down in Louisiana. Report says she was fired by the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office after her arrest. Spadoni is being held at the Jefferson Parish Correctional Center on $50,000 bond. It was unknown if she has an attorney who could speak with her at this time. The crazy thing is, I got word of this story, and I know how things are recycled in the social media space, but I got wind of this story just a few days ago. So I don't know if it's still litigation, but it still made for a good conversation. So it was deposited into her Charles Schwab brokerage account. Okay. And she went out and purchased a home. She purchased the SUV.
Should have called me.
Right. And I guess they tried to contact her and such, and I guess she didn't return that damn call. And they arrested her. But I'm watching this whole feed thing there, and I'm gonna go back, and they had two people on. This is on Fox News now. And they had two people up there. They had a brother on the left side of the screen, like we are right now. And they had this pleasant Caucasian gentleman was on the right. So they went to the brother first. Okay. So this is how they set you up. They went to the brother first. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I expected the brother to say something real brotherish, like it ain't her fault. Look, she should have kept it. Nope. He was like, she knew the rules. She should have read the addendum and the little memo at the bottom is saying that if they make a mistake, then she should return it back. She's in the wrong. She gets what she deserved. Then the host, who was a Caucasian white lady, went over to the Caucasian white man, and he was like, well, here's the thing. He said, as far as I know, she didn't willingly go in and steal $1.2 million from it intentionally. They deposited that into her bank account. Also, she didn't willingly defraud them in kind of way. They accidentally do that. And two, they said, well, what about the memorandum or like the little fine print? And he was like, who reads that? And then on top of that, the sheriff's department, they were actually in the wrong, and they shouldn't have fired her. So it was like, if you need a interview, need a lawyer, give me a call. I'll represent her, pretty much. What was your take, man? 1.2 million. Mind you, she was making a transfer of about $82, which is still a weird number. And they accidentally put 1.2 million into her bank account. One, what happened to the teller who did that? Who transferred that? Because is it a glitch? I don't know. But what are we doing in that case, man?
So basically, you telling me I should return my lemonade to Chick-fil-A?
Pretty much.
Before I get arrested.
Much.
It's a messed up moment because taking it as far as arresting somebody, it's a lot. Now, does the person know the difference between $82 being transferred and $1 million being in their account? To the fact that they jump at the fact of buying a house, like you said, we spoke about this offline. Should have moved slow.
Right.
Should have moved slow with it.
Right.
Shoot, you could have invested that joint real quick and made some money off that million, and they gave the million back to them.
Right, exactly.
That's probably what I would have done. Hey, that's what the bank does.
I'd have put that on the bet real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let it ride on fan.
Hey, you know what? Go ahead and get your money. Here you go. It was a mistake. My bad.
So here's my thing, bro. Because this happened, mind you. This story is from 2021. Okay, so whatever. This happened in Louisiana. So I started doing some digging. That same year, a bank accidentally deposited $50 billion with a B into a Louisiana family's account. No, it was in Louisiana, different bank. But a bank accidentally deposited $50 billion into someone's account.
Why can't this be me? just one time. Mess up with me. Oh my God.
So since we stand on Louisiana, so this is two instances. 1.2 million into this one lady's account. In that same year, accidentally did 50 billion. Okay. So we had a situation, I want to say it was last year, where the missus, her card got compromised, and someone went and bought a bunch of stuff off of I wanted to say Temu. What's the other one that they use? The other online thing that they use out there. Not Temu, but it's the other one prior to that. I forget the name of it off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. But in any case, so she see the charges up there and she gets the cards blocked and stuff like that. And it was an Amazon order. Or something like some order that she had on there anyway. So she got the contact information. And I think I told you guys about this, the address of where it went. It went to a correctional facility in Louisiana. I called because I got the number because it was correctional. I actually pulled up the number and called them. I said, hey, I'm calling in regards to a fraudulent order that was done, and it located from your facility. And then the lady proceeded to tell me, oh yeah, she said, well, that's not this office here, but she said the address you're giving me, I guess they have, it's like a farm, like, it's like the city, not like the city farm of Newport News, but it's correctional facility like that. And she was like, you have to call back during the week. This was in Louisiana.
Why your money being call back during the week.
Right. So we got accidentally 1.2 million, 50 million. Hell, they made a fraud. Yeah, 50 billion. I'm sorry. We had an order that was ordered from the jail down there on our account. And then Brett Favre steal from people in Louisiana? Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. So, the elephant in the room. Fuck is going on in Louisiana? Outside of the gumbo that's good.
Same thing that's always been going on.
God, like I again, this story is from 2021. That's how social media get because it pulls it up. I was like, damn, this is new. It's not.
The question that you really should be asking is,
right,
why is the reaction so fast when their money gets messed up?
Right.
But when ours, we got to jump through every hoop known to man to get our own money back, which is easily proven.
Dead ass.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever sit back and you're late on a bill, and then all of a sudden they're down your back, but they owe you money or something like that. Oh yeah, we're processing that. It'll take about 7 business. What? It don't take 7 business days to get my.
Absolutely.
So it's always that way. It's always that way.
So that's how we starting the show, man. What happened to opinions? It's the Hot Tea Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, man. I'm now my ass. How you guys been, man? Since I seen you last week, how we been? How we want to jump in there? Earl, come on now. You got something. What we got?
Well, been all right. Had a little life. Well, I ain't gonna call it a scare.
Don't say laughing, man.
Yeah, hold on now.
Huh?
I said, hold on now. Yeah.
No, that's what I said. No, that's what I said. It wasn't even no real health concern. I mean, it was like because
eliminated good, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. Because I'm a hypochondriac in the sense, but I also have anxiety. So, anybody who has anxiety know that those symptoms align with a lot of other things. So I also have like acid
reflux.
Acid reflux. Yeah. Thank you. I don't know why I can't talk today. Have acid reflux. So I drank soda like one night, Saturday night, and
it has acid in it. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I don't. But it's crazy because I don't drink soda. Anybody know me? No, I drink water. And I was like, some days you just want some things with a kick in it. And I don't know why I went from that extreme.
Sound real crackish right there, buddy. But I'm not sure. Go ahead.
So
while he was rubbing his arm.
Shut up. Because it's cold in here.
This weed ain't hitting. Somebody give me that crack.
I refuse to put this heat on here. It's cold in here.
Oh man.
I drank the whole thing. Well, I drank a glass of it, and freaking like half an hour later, my chest started hurting. So, like I said, go back to the anxiety thing. If you when you haven't had that happen before, and you're like, oh shit, what's happening? Mm-hmm. So now you're like, let me go to the hospital, because my thing is, I go to the hospital, let me rule out or see what's going on. Something happened, or you automatically think the worst. Then They ran all the tests, was there for like 8-9 hours, ran all the tests, and come to find out everything was clear. Then it dawned on me that I drank that soda and I got acid reflux. And I said, oh shit, that was it. So doctor said, yeah, it should subside in a couple of days. And it did. Like today is felt great. You know, like I said, it was definitely triggered by food. But I also felt like it was also exaggerated or exacerbated by
big word,
by stress. You know what I'm saying? So, but the good thing is, thank God, you know, feeling much better, doing better. Um, but it also made me take a look at just other things and just say, hey, look, you know, gotta pay attention to your body.
mm-hmm.
You know, you gotta pay attention to the warning signs
Mm-hmm.
because if you don't, your body will tell you.
Speak to those minority men out there.
Yep.
You know, and it's crazy because like I'm a hypochondriac, so like I would. This is why I went to the hospital. Now, you know, and even when I was talking to the nurse, I was like, yeah, I think this could have been spurred on my anxiety. She said, yeah, it happens. But then I realized I was like, yeah, I drank some soda and I got GERD. Yeah.
And see, most of the time, and it's not to cut you off, and we're definitely glad that everything's okay with you.
Right.
We were speaking every single day through that time period, all of us. But you know, let's not glance over the fact of the listen to your body part.
Right.
And you know, I'll just throw in a topic within there because I believe it is mental health month right now. And that mental health plays so much significance within even your physical health. They can kind of coincide in that same sense. So I say that to you because a lot of things that pop up with us, and when I say us, hello, you know what I'm talking about. And this is not a knock to anybody else out there. This is me talking to myself. We don't listen. We don't. More than half the time, we sit back and it's just I pulled something. So it was something that I drank. That must have been bad. That food. It's not always something else. Sometimes it's you, and it's a buildup, and it's throughout time. And just this time, your body's telling you, I can't do it no more. You got to get checked out. I can't do it no more. And we wait. We're not what's the word I'm looking for? Because we're always reactive. We're not
proactive. We're not proactive.
Yeah, and also doing like a preventive state.
Yep.
We don't do that. It's always reactive to, now I can't handle it. Oh, I can't walk no more. You know, things like that until we get to that pain. And I'm telling you, we got to wake up. We got to listen to ourselves. It's real. It's real. It'll always tell you. It'll always tell you. If you listen, it's one thing, but it'll always tell you.
Hey, say episode 126, what happened to opinions? No, you're right, Dave. You didn't have this qualify that was saying I'm just talking to myself. That is one of those opinions where it's factual. We don't listen. And in the black community as men, we don't listen. And it's different layers to that. Part of that is we've been told, especially coming from our fathers and their fathers, we've been told to be strong, don't cry, what you complaining about. None of that. And so we just go about our day and we carry that weight, man. And now we're in this new age of where now we're expressing ourselves. But the other side of that is, in some cases, that it's almost like, damn, you're trying to express yourself there and you get negative feedback from that because you're trying to express in this case. And you say something about not listening to your body, or it builds up. And I know you remember the incident that happened with my middle brother Step, where he had been neglecting it. He thought it was cool. And one day he was brushing his teeth, something didn't feel right. You went to the bathroom, the urine was dark. He goes to patient first, thinking that, okay, maybe it's something here. Next thing you know, they're like, yeah, we need to rush you to the ER right now. And he was like, no, I came for something else. He got there to find out his gallbladder had grown to 10 times its size. And you remember that picture. Yeah. He had close to 500 gallstones in his gallbladder. And it got so big that part of his gallbladder had latched on to, I think, his liver. So they removed the gallbladder, he all his gallstones, and he was, if he hadn't went, I wouldn't be talking about my brother in the living sense right now
Mm-hmm.
if he hadn't went. But it was a build up over time, and my brother is a very imposing guy. He's about 6'4". He's about 300 and something. He used to play football, and he works out and all that stuff there. But your body, your internals, you don't know the internals of anybody. We watched one of our favorite actors for years play an iconic character in Chadwick Boseman, and then had no idea what he was going through until we got to the end. And for everything we knew, and the world didn't know, that he was going through his cancer situation, and we didn't find out until he was gone.
Yeah.
So looking at somebody, you never know whether it's physical health, mental health. All I can say is that we must listen to ourselves, no matter what it is. It could be the most minor thing. I love cereal. My body tells me, Sean, don't drink that milk. I'm like, it tastes so good. It's
Chadwick is the reason why I went. I mean, I was eventually going to go do it anyway.
Right.
But he's the reason why I went and did my colonoscopy.
Yeah, because he was young.
Hands down. When that happened, because I think we found out when we found out, but I believe he knew since he was like 35, 36.
Yeah. It's been going on for years, man. Yeah.
So, and then even after I did my colonoscopy and everything came out, negative and stuff like that. I remember the doctor going, "Okay, I'll see you in 10 years." I said, "No, you won't."
No, don't do that.
I don't know if you saw this right here, but you ain't gonna see me in no 10 years. It's just because that's too much time. That's too much of a lapse. I can't do it. Also, I'll throw this out there, and then y'all can run with it. It's not to branch off from anybody else out there that got their studies and things like that. But sometimes, more times than not, you might want to deal, especially on the medical side, with somebody that knows your medical side. And I am speaking cultural.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You gotta put that out there. People can have certain things off of like book degree wise. They know their medicine, they know their practice, but there's a difference between you and them sometimes.
There's nothing
wrong with that. If they didn't do that research, if they don't know that, now there's plenty of them out there from a separate race that know, but you got to do your own due diligence to know who those people are. You get what I mean? Yep. And I'm not saying all the time when you see this color that they're going to even know, because sometimes they don't know. They only know specifically the book and what's in there. But if you find somebody that did their research, you got to find somebody that knows your body.
And this is exactly why when my child was born, and even before he was born, I knew I was having a child. It was imperative to me that he be with Black doctors. And I was like, I needed him, specifically women doctors. And the reason being is because, again, who knows us better than us? Yeah. And I like the next closest for me, because they also, and I've had this doctor for years. My doctor is Indian.
Yep.
And that's my motherfucking nigga. I said it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I said it. That's my dog. And the reason why I love him so much is because, one, if you look at it, they have the same hue as us, to a degree. So he understands, like, he knows people of color have low vitamin D. He knows like certain things. Yeah. So like he talks to me like he's one of me.
There's certain questions that don't even need to be asked.
Right.
Like when they pull out that sheet and they say, go through your family history. You want to mark down the things that they don't have, because if I mark down the things that run in my family, we're gonna be here for a while.
So then that conversation is different. It's like, look, you need to don't do this. Yep. You need to do that. Don't do this. You know what I'm saying? So, and I also like him too, is because he's not trying to throw medication down my throat, because he knows, like, and this is when you talk,
you're saying it,
right? This is when you got to have a relationship with your doctor, because it's like, yo, I know you, and I know that your first result isn't to put me on medication. It's just like, you know what? Let's try a holistic, way. Try this approach. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. And then there might be times where it's like, all right, no, you don't have a choice. You got to be on this, which I'm fine with. But it's not like
if he goes that route,
it's for a reason, yeah.
Yeah.
But I know he doesn't start there if he doesn't have to,
Yeah.
So that's why I said that's my motherfucking G. Like I fucks with him. That's my dog. I've been with him for over 10 years. So I do agree with Dave, where it's just like, yo, you need to find the doc. Finding the doctor is just as important as finding somebody to do your hair, a barber, a mechanic, a plumber, like but and you think about all of these people are in your life to fix these different objects, right? All right, well, this doctor is there to make sure that your biggest system, whatever you want to call it, is running smoothly.
I know this is another reason why, just like we said, you want to stay those who know you best. And this is like, I won't take, well, I don't have hair anymore, but I have ethnic hair. My son has ethnic hair. I'm not taking my kids to hair cuttery. I'm just saying. It's two different things. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. I went to the what's the male joint that they do? Sports Clips. I went there one time when I did have hair. One time. Years ago.
I don't know why you did that.
Because I wanted to see what the whole sports atmosphere was about. I walked in there and I'm like, oh, this looks dope. Now, the little hot towel thing was the best thing going.
They probably came out with some scissors too.
No. But when the young lady was in there and she was cutting her hair, I said, just give me a number one all the way through and just edge me up. It's fine. I knew things were wrong because when I looked at the edges that she was using, and I could tell that them just weren't sharp. It wasn't no Andes or nothing like that. It was like some of those whale ones, but that's like the ones you can get from Walmart. I'm like, oh, I see what this is right here, buddy. Thank you, ma'am. Don't even worry about it. I'll fix it myself. I'll do it. Don't worry about it. You sure? Yeah, I'm good. Just go to give me that hot towel massage. You sure you don't want to edge up, ma'am? If you try to touch my hair with them goddamn dull ass whale clippers, it's gonna be me, you, and your God. I don't have time for it, sir.
Well, let me tell you something. I ain't. This is not like. This doesn't really have to do with anything with ethnicity, but I got a thing with women barbers, and maybe because I had one negative.
I got a thing with women. Never mind. Keep going. Sorry.
With one negative interaction, and that's not to say that there aren't a bunch of dope women barbers, because there are. Just like I said, my experience is I'm good. I would keep it. I would let a dude cut my hair, just like I won't let a dude twist my hair. Like that's for female, for at least for me. To each his own.
It is one barber, man.
I ain't finished my story though. I ain't finished.
One of my sister homies.
Oh, so fuck me. I ain't finished my story.
I was saying, I'm sorry. I didn't want to say because you were talking about women. I wasn't defending, but one of my sister homies. If you get where I'm going,
let me finish. Go ahead, though.
She got a mean edge up. I ain't gonna lie. She got a mean edge up. You know what I'm saying? One of the sister homies out there. Go ahead. You got
it. That's what you was trying to say this whole time?
But I gotta find my ends with you, man. I be like, I got something.
I wish I could meet your ass.
I got something.
But now I don't know what it was, but like she was lining me up, son. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I think she pushed my shit back. I was like, nah, son. And I everybody had a bad barber experience.
Yep.
To the point where you really want to put hands on people.
That's why I ain't got no hair, bro.
Because like, especially when you talking about your line, like it's one thing for your jump to be even. But if you mess your line up, you have to cut your hair all the way off. I have to start brand new. So it's
when they over explain themselves.
What it
is. See, you had it up here and it should be bro.
And the cats that usually mess up the line, that usually push your shit back. That's them perfectionists. That's the ones that they stand back. They gotta look. I'm like, yo, we on this for 20 minutes.
Or they said they like I said, over explain, and they be like, don't move. I'm not moving.
Right.
Don't move.
That's why I gotta say shout out to Jalen Rose Barber, because I don't know if you guys ever noticed watching ESPN over the years that we watched, all of the brothers who have been on ESPN, every single last one of them, outside of Jalen Rose, have had fucked up hairlines. They were crooked. Every time I watched, I remember when Michael Smith was up there, and I used to look, and I'm like, Michael Smith, I love Michael Smith and Jamel Hill. I'll be looking, I'll be like, that ain't straight. I looked at Dominique Foxworth. I've looked at, God rest his soul, the great Stuart Scott. All of them. I was like, yo, who is doing my man's hairline, bro? Like it's straight. It's straight crooked. I don't like it.
He probably don't mess with they barbers either though. Like he probably got his own personal barber. But I ain't gonna hold you. Like Jalen Rose, like he ODing right now because
that
because I hate when barbers put like the Beijing, around your edges just so you can see it more. Like something like that. It's old day. Now I mean, at one point his jump was tight where I felt like it wasn't all that Beijing and all that crap. Like it was a sharp line. But I will say this. When I went on the Steve Harvey show, the barber that Steve Harvey had, let me explain something to you. When I can understand the justification about paying a different price to certain barbers because he showed me that it was levels. And trust and believe that my barber at the time is a great barber. Like he's very good. And I just got a shape up and he had me tight. Yo, my man went just like this to me. Sat in the chair. The makeup artist was there. She was like, bad chick too. She was like, I had to throw that in there. She was like, yo, sister too. She was like, well, you got good skin, so we ain't got to put too much on you. I was like, I appreciate you. He was like, yeah, your skin is smooth. I said, yeah, I appreciate that.
You still put something on me.
No, she was like, I'm just gonna put just a little touch up, but you got good skin. I was like, all right, thank you. Then the barber looked at me. It was a chubby brother with a little fro with a Brooklyn with a little had the sponge brush thing going on, right? And the barbers with the fat fingers and had the bracelet, you know what I'm saying, with the big ass watch. Like he just knew, had the good cologne. He just knew like he knew what he was doing, right?
He had no brood on, I'll tell you that much.
Nah, he had a brood.
This is what he do.
Yeah, this is what he do. Right. He looked at me just like this. He was like, yeah, man. I mean, your barber took care of you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't got much to do. I'm just gonna clean you up just a little bit. Let me tell you something. That just a little bit took about 5 to 10 minutes. A world of difference. Cause he ended up putting some like, I guess it was Beijing on my edges a little bit or whatever. But then he sharp, when I tell you he had my junk sharp to the point when I got off the plane and my boy Juwanza, shout out Juwanza, he picked me up. He was like, hey, yo, son, who cut your hair? I said, yo, Steve Harvey barber, son. He got me right. He was like, yo. He said, that's wild because you just got a haircut yesterday. I said, no, son. It looks completely different, don't it? I was like, yeah. So that's how I say it's levels. Now, granted, even though I know that it's levels, people OD, and I'm not paying $100 for no shape up. You know what I'm saying? They kiss my ass.
We gonna have to, just from this conversation, we gonna have to get Mel on here. Y'all already know. We gonna have to get Jamel on here.
Yeah, we can have that combo.
Yeah, we gonna have him on here because I gotta speak to him on the sense of the barbers that just won't let go of the clippers, the ones that been there forever, and they always cut you when you come in there. And they like, nah, man, you move, nah.
I did not move, sir.
Every time they just cut you off. Oh, you got sensitive skin, no.
And then they nip you up, and then they put the alcohol on it.
Man,
burning.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Or don't even want to tell you, then pull out that little powder that's supposed to stop the bleeding.
Hey, yo, like
you like, what's that for? Oh, no, you good.
Oh,
or like I ain't got no beard, but like I don't do nothing with this crap. But if it get a little wild, he'll cut it. I tell him, clean it up. I'm like, yo, fam, like I know it ain't a lot. I ain't got the showing shit, but you gotta comb it because like I don't comb it. Like I don't do it. Yo, man, he go and start cutting it, and then the thing get cut, get caught in there. I'm like, yo, bro.
Yeah, I tell you now.
Man.
I get edged up one time, and I know the difference between edging up the beard and seeing like some of the hair go with it. And I saw that joint fall on a little thing, and dead ass. I did that. My hand came up like this. I seen like a long strand coming. I was like, oh, what you doing? Oh, I'm just trimming you up, bro.
You put your hand up.
Dead ass. Hey, what are you doing, sir? I'm just trimming you. No, sir. So we're not. No, you're not trimming. We're not trying to take nothing down. I don't need you to trim my ends. You know what? Don't worry about it. I got it. Don't even worry about it. I'm out. Yeah, I can't. Don't do that to me. Don't do you. You fucking around. We fucking around and fight. This is a Hot Seat podcast, man.
Bumps on your
Yeah,
face.
can't do it. Nah. Episode 126, man. What happened to opinions? There's gonna be some good conversation tonight. Let's go right into it. There's no transition for this, but it is heavy in the news right now. It happened over the weekend. Israel. If you guys didn't notice, man, there was some attacks that were carried out by the group, the Hamas group, and took the lives of several innocent people. And I'll say more times than not, in war, it's more innocent lives lost than anything. Because a lot of times the soldiers who fighting, they just there to fight because either they've been told they had to, or that's, they've been, listening to their military and they have no other option. But there's a lot there, like there always is in the US. I don't know if they do this in other countries, to be perfectly honest. I don't know. Maybe the UK, maybe. But as with everything that happens outside the US, you're starting to see the hashtags and the statements of stuff that we stand with Israel. You're seeing it everywhere. And it's one of those conversations as a former military person, veteran, that don't be so quick to just jump into that pool of we stand with such and us. Yes, the loss of life is never good at any time. I'm not saying that. But if you are in our age bracket, from our generation, just from history alone, in high school and stuff like that, this Israel-Palestine conflict goes back to pre-World War I. And both sides have attacked each other largely over a space known as the Gaza Strip that you've heard plenty of times, even going back to the former Bush administrations. But again, I do also understand that we're in the social media space where everybody wants to put a hashtag on it. And what you're seeing now is, again, you see the U.S., at least because it's where we are, at the forefront of supporting this and the other, probably going to send some funds here and the other. And to be perfectly honest, a lot of people don't even know what the fuck they standing with. They don't. They saw that some people died. They saw a hashtag, and that was that. What y'all got, man?
Let's see. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I don't get into the politics. It's, you kind of get to see how people feel, when they voice their opinions about this. I think I'm gonna keep mine very simple. I'm not a fan of war. I'm not a fan of anybody losing their lives, especially kids, women, old folks. Just, though I feel like those are off limits. And I told Dave earlier, I was like, I really shed a tear for humanity, because like we give zero fucks, and it's horrible. And it's like, I don't care what side of the fence you're on, what the Hamas did to Israel was horrible, and then what the Israel government or the military has done to the innocent people in Gaza, the civilians in Gaza, is horrible, and how you as a human are okay, whether despite what side you're on, how are you okay with the fact of seeing a child, an innocent child, bleeding, dead. Like, I'm sorry. Like, none of your guys are sitting up here or the person that you serve is telling you, and that's okay. And I just, like I said, I plead for humanity, and I weep for humanity, because this ain't it. This is not it. And we sitting up here fighting these wars over stupidity, like over land that probably don't belong to neither one of y'all. Like, I don't know. It's just sad. It's just sad.
To add, before let Dave go, because you see all the hashtags about this stuff now. I don't know if people remember, and I can't recall seeing this at the time. So correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody's watching or listening. Back in 2018, there was roughly about 170 Palestinians that were killed as Israel, they were responding to protests along the border. Those 170 people were probably innocent people as well. And I say that because this, of course, is going to get slanted because this is the new thing right now. But as Dave, and I'm pretty sure where you may go with this, that this has been going on for so like it's like watching a really toxic couple, and it's either on the male side or the woman's side, they just going back and forth doing like the most heinous shit to each other, and you're just watching it play out, and people picking sides, and none of it makes sense for anybody. What you got, Dave?
I mean, y'all said a lot of it. I guess it's more to the fact that, well, I'll predate what you were saying, even World War One. This is biblical wars, man. Not telling you what you read and things like that. I don't know what people are reading, but I'm telling you, that's that type of time period. Way before we were talking United States or anything else like that.
Right.
These are biblical times as far as these wars, never-ending wars, as they call them. And I'll be very blunt. They have nothing to do with us. Of course, we don't want to see lives shed and stuff like that. But I also don't want us getting into the fact of jumping in each and every time this is going on, because it's going to go on every 10, 15, 20 years. What you really should be focusing on is this. Media drives the fact of how your thinking goes.
Right.
So like you said, with these hashtags and things, I'm not telling you to not be for Israel, but I'm also saying, does that mean you're shitting on Palestinians? Are you fine with, if you put yourself in their shoes that have nothing to do with that war, and them waking up and going to sleep at night to bombs being dropped on people down the street and all these different types? Forget school. Nobody's going to school because you're in war. Just overnight. Had nothing to do with you. When we're talking about Palestinians and we're talking about the terrorist group Hamas, these are two totally different entities. So, yes, you want to go after this terrorist group? Yes, go ahead and do so. But you are bombing the whole Gaza Strip with innocent civilians sitting there. I'm not even going to characterize and break it down of a difference between women, children, things like that. These are innocent lives that have nothing to do with it. Nothing. And they are being bombed right now. So you want to go after somebody and stuff like that? Who's backing the Hamas group? Iran. I don't hear no talk about that. I don't hear nobody bringing up that.
Right.
But let's bomb an area where innocent lives are shed. They're just sitting there. The kidnappers talking about, if you do this and this type of mass attack, we're going to kill everybody that we kidnapped and things like that. Oh well, bomb, boom. So now even the Israeli lives are shed. They're gone. So you're not saving them. So you're battling an attack with an attack, and I'm not saying not to do certain things, but aren't we having this same discussion right now? Aren't we having this discussion with Russia just bombing areas where civilians live in Ukraine, and we're backing Ukraine, and we're saying, oh, this is not called for. This is not the way that you're supposed to go into war, attacking these type of areas. Well, I believe that's what's going on here. Now it's just on the flip side. So I'm not here to get into the politics of it all and stuff like that, but I'm just telling you, before you jump the gun and you're led by media to just go hashtag, yes, this, and all these different type of things, I'm for everybody's life to be here. Everybody to be straight. And if you want to go after this Hamas group, this terrorist group, if you want to go against the people that are funding them so they recover each and every time, they have to come back somehow.
Right.
That's what we should be focused on, not bombing innocent civilians. And that's just where I'm going to leave it. I don't understand how that's right. I don't get it.
You're right, man. You're right. And I think now the most recent report I saw that there is some U.S. citizens and stuff that are over there, captive and what the case may be. And I get it. I understand it. But this is what I'll say to that. There are people, and so how easily things are forgotten in this news cycle. There are people who are still awaiting aid in Maui. Maui is in Hawaii. Last time I checked, Hawaii is one of the 50 states of the United States. I saw more news coverage about Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne Johnson trying to raise money, and everybody giving them hell about this, that, and the other, and really saw no talk of where the government would go in and actually assist. And this just backs up right against what happened with Hurricane Katrina and other situations. And
in the same area that you were just talking about, like Louisiana.
Right. And then
see how it all comes back?
Someone out there listening to this or made comment and say something like, well, that's done by the budgets are done by, look, you can miss
Puerto
me
Rico.
You can miss me with the budget shit. You can miss me. The money is spent where people want to spend money at. It's kind of like in relationships. You go in there, they be like, well, you spend money on what you want to spend it on. That's the United States. That's legit. The powers that be will spend money what they deem is feasible to their own interest. You got a whole area in one of your states that got decimated. Not by war, but it looked like a war site by a natural disaster, and the response was slow at best.
So you know
at
what?
best.
You know what, Sean? I wasn't even gonna go here. We already discussed this offline, and I wasn't gonna go there. But you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go there.
Yeah.
I don't understand how we can so quickly just check off boxes to rebuild other foreign areas as if our shit is sweet. Right. And there's no easier way that I could put that. No blunter way to put it. You know, you rebuild all these different type of areas, yet we have all these schools that don't even have AC still. We're talking about budgeting for the fact of officers being at schools.
Yeah.
You know, mental health being addressed within schools. Hell, schools having books to the curriculum of what they're being taught right now. Right. You know, hospitals having the right things at their spot. So you don't have to get airlifted so far away if certain things happen. Why doesn't your local hospital have that? You get what I mean? Like, these are the things that I said, like, how am I walking in the nation's capital and I see more per square block homeless veterans than anywhere I've ever seen in my life in the nation's capital? But that's not being addressed. Always campaigning on the fact of taxes and things like that. Oh, we're putting it towards schools, hospitals, and what you always hear, roads.
Bruh.
Really?
That shit fuck my mini up. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But that's what we're putting it towards?
Right.
I don't see it. So I say that to bring it back to the point of, I'm not saying not to aid all these different areas, but how can we so quickly, because we're going to be right back in the budget talk in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
How can we so quickly do that, yet we can't take care of home?
And I was just, I told you earlier, I said we were just at a week ago, we were just about to shut down, right? But all of a sudden, I read
what does that mean?
Right, but I read somewhere that they just sent like some crazy amount to Israel, like a few billions over there.
I got you. But I'm saying if you drop that here and any of the things that I just spoke about, we're not having a conversation year to year to year to year. But the thing is this, if you don't have a problem, you can't run on anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Absolutely.
If people don't get sick, you don't have healthcare. There has to be a business. There has to be a business. There has to be a campaign. There has to be a lie. There has to be a story. So that's why I tell you yes, pay attention to the things that are going on, but don't be led. There's a difference. You can pay attention and not be led. And so many people are being led right now that is sickening because they're just jumping on the latest thing that's out there. Hell, not to point her out, they were even pointing out what's her name, the Kardashian girl. She put up there for Israel supporting them. Then they realized one of her best friends was a Palestinian, and she took it down.
Yeah.
Just think. I mean, I'm happy that she took it down because, I mean, you're just shitting on your friend right there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine for your families out there to get bombed. I'm saying it's not fine for anybody.
Yeah. That's all I ask people. I'm just like, look, even if you're from that country and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would even say from 9/11, you know what I'm saying? And this might be a wild thing, but this is true. You know, all you saw was like, especially being in this area when that happened. Like I remember exactly, literally this picture that I had right behind me was downtown North, and I was right down there when 9/11 happened. And you see that this body of water is the Hudson. I said, you saw the smoke coming across. It was so thick that you could see the debris coming all the way from Times Square, you know what I'm saying, to North. I'm sorry, that's not the Hudson. I'm bugging. Hudson ain't far. And you know, like even then, like, you know, I was angry because, like, you know, I got family over there and it's close by and stuff.
Yeah.
So you're like, yo, who did this, right? But I understood it was a specific group. I didn't have an issue with the country that this, you know, came from, because I knew it wasn't the whole country. I had an issue with this group. So
you don't go bomb the whole Middle East.
Yeah, I wasn't like, yo, go bomb them. I'm like, no, go get them. That's just like somebody punch you in your face. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go get the person, somebody else that had nothing to do with it, or am I gonna get the person,
family, everything,
or am I gonna go get the person that punched me in the face? Yeah, that's all I'm asking, and that's why I said, like, everybody, you gotta have a heart, man, because there ain't nothing cool on either side about seeing kids killed. Like,
there's no justification, man. There's literally no justification about the two.
Cold ass individual. If you're sitting there cheering that shit on, you a fucked up individual.
Yeah, and that's for every big company. I think we talk about our sports teams tweeting out their stance. Do your homework. Whoever your social media team, do your homework and really look at this and decide: are you just caught up in the moment? Realize that there's been lives lost on both sides, the Israeli side and the Palestinian side, and majority of them were innocent.
Yep.
So what do you say to? And I'll just use the Commanders for person, because I saw it there first before I saw it with the Giants. What do you, as a owner of the Washington Commanders, you just sent out, we stand with Israel. What do you say to, because, you know, DC is a melting pot of people. What do you say to one of your Palestinian fans out there wearing a Washington Commanders jersey and come to find out that one of his relatives back from 2018, because as I said, that's when about 170 Palestinians got killed for protests out on the border there. What if one of them was his or her family members? What do you say? What do you say to them?
And they're past that number right now in the Gaza Strip.
Right. So what do you say to them? What do you say to them? You say the same thing? There is no stance on this. At the end, the only stance really is, look, you can't fix it. The last thing you can do is try to take somebody's side. This is the last thing you can do. You can try to mediate between the two, and they've done all types of accords and stuff like that. But when you take a hard, when you take a hard stance on one side, you're completely neglecting everything that other side just went through, man.
That's a conversation that we can't solve
at all. It's the Hot Seat Podcast, man. Episode 126. What happened to opinions? Conversation we can't have.
Oh, shoot. Oh, man.
So, one of the last, I want to say the last, about 15 years, I want to say. Last 15 years, at least. One of the most popular artists, hip-hop artists, musicians, whatever you want to call them, of the last 15 years, dropped his newest project. Talking about Drake, talking about Arbery, and dropped the project, a 23-track project called For All the Dogs. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't know who started this, but I need somebody to come back with dope artwork, cover art. Because the cover art has become lazy at best.
Wasn't that his son, though?
Okay, I might want to take that back.
Yeah, I think that was the son, so I want to start it. Go ahead, though.
No, I'm not taking that back. You know what? I'm not going to take that back. That's dope. You know what? I respect that because not a selfish plug. I did a project a few years ago. My daughter did a pitch here, but that was just one time.
So you should take it back then. You need to take it back then.
Because overall, the artwork has gotten kind of lazy on some of the stuff. I'll put it that way. Because I
called the son lazy.
Yeah, right. Yo, take that back. That's good.
It don't even look like a dog. It don't even look like a dog. I'm kidding.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry, man.
I believe it was the son. Now, if I'm mistaken, then you could bring it all back.
Yeah, I'll bring it back.
I'm pretty sure it was the son.
But I think, I would say this: the artwork has become lazy. But again, art is really.
He's still fitting it in there.
And no, in general, what I'm saying is this is just me.
Fired.
This is just
at
me. But
go ahead, just end it with at me.
As a pure artist myself, as a pure actual artist, like painting, everything is there. I do understand that art is interpretive, so I give that. But the album was not. And I interpreted this album as shit. It was a very bad piece of work, I thought, from the production to the execution. And I know you guys have saw those who on social media while you're out there tweeting, we stand for Israel. You might also saw that Joe Budden, who has been one of Drake's biggest fans, and that's not even an opinion, that's a fact, pretty much gave a critique saying that, hey, where is the evolution? Where is the maturity in this? Because what he put out was something that you expect some 20-year-old kid in this day and age to put out. And then it spawned Drake to put out a novel of a response, which that's how you know you got to somebody when they respond back with a long ass text message.
Yep.
And add on to that, Charlemagne gave his critique. And of course, all of Drake's fans, they're doing their thing about like the whole old head thing, this and the other. At the end of the day, it was a shit piece of work, man. What y'all got, bro?
I mean, listen, like I said, Drake is damn near like my age.
Yep, he'll be 37 in a couple weeks.
He about 2-3 years younger than me. You know what I'm saying? And the I think how he reacted was out of real sensitivity, like because what Joe said, he wasn't coming at it. He was just giving his opinion, which he was like, "Yo, this I don't really like the album." He's like, "This ain't it." Like I don't particularly like the singing on it. Like the songs wasn't dope. Like this wasn't a Drake. This wasn't like one of them Drake classics. Like, and he was even within that critique, he was still bigging them up. He was like, yo, because my expectations are high for you because he is one of them dudes. That's what he said. Like he is him.
Right.
Which I agree. Like he's one of them dudes. So it's like for you to put out some piss poor work, it's like, yeah, I'm upset. You know what I'm saying? Now, me personally, I'm a little bit more old school. I ain't really a Drake fan. Now, don't get me wrong. Do Drake got some songs that I rock with? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Do I think Drake is a lyrical cat? He got bars? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Is Drake in my top 5? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? He's in my top 10? Absolutely not. You know, and it's because just for me personally, if you rapping, I want you to rap. Okay. You know, I don't have an issue with you singing, but it's like, yo, fam, like you ain't doing what you're not Lauren Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not a singer. You're a person that can hold a note. So I don't necessarily want to hear you singing. You're not even really CeeLo. You know what I'm saying? The people that understand his voice, like, because CeeLo could actually he can sing.
He can sing.
You know what I'm saying? CeeLo can sing. He got like one of them pastor voices. You know what I'm saying? But he can sing. You know what I'm saying? So you're not even really CeeLo in that sense. So I don't necessarily want to hear you sing. Now it'd be different if you were singing hooks, but like I don't want to hear you singing songs. Like, nah, family. Like I want to hear bars. You know, so me personally, this album wasn't, and for it to be like 20 something tracks that I can only pull out 2 that I like is okay. I ain't none of them that I'm just like, yo, this shit is fire. Like it's not like when you listen to, you could hear Jay-Z or a Common album and be like, oh yeah, this my shit. You like you're on repeat on that song for mad long. You know what I'm saying? And I skimmed through it. I literally was on the box with these guys the other day. I said, yo, give me like a couple minutes. I'm skimming through this album. How long did it take me? I said, give me about 5 minutes. I think I was back in under 5 minutes.
You were.
You know what I'm saying? And I told y'all the 2 songs that I like. And then it's crazy because now I got to think it's probably like one in the possible because the way that Sean was kind of getting at me about should I really like this song?
Let
It made
me
me
jump
go
in
back
right
and
here
think.
because of that. Let me jump in right here. So let me start off by saying I am not a Drake diehard fan. I'm not a fanatic where a Drake album drops and people going crazy. I'm not even staying up for it to be released, to be honest with you. But I do respect his craft as far as what he does and what he puts out, because he does put out some bangers and he does have some bars, just like you were saying. I was looking at this one differently, kind of the same way Joe Buttons came at it, because first off, I was hearing that it was going to be his last album for a while,
right?
Because he was going through health issues. And just to separate the two, I hope everything's okay. Get through that, no matter what it is. Prayer hands up for you. But leading in with that story out there, and then the title being For All the Dogs, I was like, oh, he coming back home. He about to lay down something that's just nothing but the bars for the fellas. This is going to be one of those albums. I couldn't get through the first 4 tracks. I turned it off. I couldn't do it. Like it annoyed me. Forget about the fact of it being a bad album. Like I've listened to albums before where I was like, I was able to get through and I was like, yeah, that just wasn't, I can't get through it.
Yeah.
I want you to understand the difference. I can't get through the album. I'm ending songs early. Like, no. So let's get to the song that Earl was kind of touching on. He has a track on there with J. Cole. Was a first person shooter?
Yep.
J. Cole comes out there, kills it. Now, Sean already prepared me for this. He said, just, kind of putting his hands up type thing, like, yo, just be happy with that verse and move on. Move the fuck on. But I sat back and I listened to where it went. And when I say where it went, I'm walking my dog this morning. Mind you, it's a little chill, a little nippy in the morning, nippy. And I'm about to go around the corner and it gets to Drake's verse and the beat change and all that. And I said, what the hell just happened to this classic, about to be classic song? It pissed me off. Once again, guess what I did? I turned off the album, put on the Diddy album. and continue my walk. I'm telling you, it is so disappointing to me, man. Because I know through certain songs where he can be.
Yeah.
And then I hear some of these joints that I put out, and they're like, it's like what we're dealing with Marvel right now. Some of these buffer episodes. He has buffer songs that every single one is monotone. It's in sync with the other. It could just be a continual track for like 25, 30 minutes. It's the same damn song with different people on it. And I'm just like, this ain't it. And we're supposed to have you in a discussion. Forget about Jay-Z and Nas and all that. We're supposed to have you in a discussion with J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and people like that. Bruh, no, this doesn't do it for me. It don't do it for me. So I know there's a generation out there that are gonna look at me like, oh, he's just old school. He already hating on him. If y'all are sitting back and y'all are fans of his music, and then you turn to that album, and you go, yeah, this is it. This is a banger. I don't know what you're listening to. I don't know what you're looking for, because I would call anybody out on a bad album. You get what I'm saying? I would call. Yeah. I remember when Jay was releasing some tracks, and I was like, ooh. this where you going with parts of this Kingdom Come? What song was? I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Like, I check people on their stuff. This whole album, bro, I can't do it. I can't get through it.
This is a conversation, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong. What you just said here. This is the conversation that is had about Drake. And you're talking about the conversations that he's put in with other people. This is the same narrative that is used when you're talking about LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Stick with me. You're talking about Drake, and let's say his contemporary is going to be Kendrick Lamar.
Yep, and J. Cole. I'm going to throw Jay in there.
So they do the LeBron James thing. They look at longevity, how many points he's scored, the impact that he has had on the culture, which is rightfully so. Drake, the longevity, mind you, I said 15 years, and I think it might have been longer than that. He's put out so much material, so I equate that to the points that LeBron James put up. Yeah. He has had a hell of an impact because he's had impact. A lot of people started rapping like him. Vic Mensa is one of them. But then you put it together, you be like, no, it's not, because he, at this point, if you're talking about the LeBron James not clutch thing. This is one of those moments when, given everything that was said that Drake was going to do, hey, he's going to take some time off, something like that. This was his clutch moment. He airballed the hell out of this shit. He airballed the hell of it. And then on top of that, he's gotten comfortable. And this is to Joe Budden's point, because if you look at the production on it, he's gotten comfortable with the people just around him. Because there is no Just Blaze production on this album. There's no ID.
It's not just the lyrics, the production.
See what I'm saying? But some of his best albums, he had those guys with him. One of my favorite Drake songs is a song he did with Rick Ross, which was produced by Just Blaze, which was Lord Knows. I love that. That is, and it gave you his best version of him. But what you got right now is just, I know he got 40 and some other guys, but he just got a bunch of guys that I feel like they just, they always talk about SoundCloud rappers. They got a bunch of SoundCloud beat makers, and it's not good. And the fact that he couldn't take the criticism of
that's key.
Yeah. And then what it turned into was, what do you know? You haven't done it. You failed. His father even said some of the facts. Well, Joe Budden doesn't anything because he's failed at this, which goes all the way back to how we are in our own community. And we talked about it a lot when we try to give game to people during the Hot Seat podcast. No, we're not $1 million worth of game. We're not the Joe Budden podcast. We're not these big ones here. But the things that we put out there are still valid. No, we're not signed to, Barstool Sports and, Revolt and all these guys here, but our words still carry weight. But you will have those who listen to the podcast who are like, well, what the fuck do they know? They just some cats who got a podcast and, they just like us. And when they took that, when they went to the Joe Budden aspect, well, what have you done? No, he has not. Joe Budden hasn't had the Grammy winning albums. Mind you, Drake has only had 4 Grammys. So he ain't like he had a lot. You put that up against Kendrick, it's a lot different. And 2, you talking about bar lords. Say what you want about Joe Budden's. He has bars. He may not be able to put a whole album together. You know, that Pump It Up thing, there's a lot of memes about that. But he has bars. He comes from our age of MCs. When you call yourself a rapper, that ain't what we got. That ain't what we got off this album. And it's not one, I don't think it's one that you can really hang your hat on. And it calls into question some things that Pusha T said, and I said it off mic. What does the label situation look like that you're okay with just staking your reputation on, I'm just gonna put out this very, very subpar piece of work because it's bad. It really is. And 2, did J. Cole hear that whole track? Because ain't no way God Green's Earth that he heard that whole track, bro. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, bro.
Or he's one of those people that just lay his track down and he roll on to the next thing. Because it's bad.
Or just an opportunity for him to be like, yeah,
it's a total switch up. It's a total switch up. And I do want to put this out there too, because I don't want to just sound like haters, because you said a key thing. The bigger part of it was that you couldn't even take someone's opinion.
Right.
Their opinion.
Right.
If you feel like you're so great, you know how Jay-Z holds himself so high?
Right.
Because he don't give a shit.
And people be like, oh, so-and-so said so-and-so about you. Why don't you come back for what? To make them famous? I'm on a whole totally different realm. I don't even need to stoop down there. So when he sits back and he comes at Joe Budden in that way, that lets me know you're not even carrying yourself at a certain type of status, because you either just take it in constructively or even do like, let me point out another great, like an Eminem. Eminem knew when he was going through shit and he was putting out some whack albums, some whack songs and stuff.
Right.
And then he used that energy, got clean, but used that energy and then put out a dope album, and he addressed all the hate within that album to make it even greater. He didn't sit back and have to respond to each and every. No, he lets it build, and then boom, he drops it within the verse.
I mean, y'all fellow brethren, that's y'all fellow light-skinned brethren, just digging into his sensitivity, man. Like, I mean, you see,
ain't no Ralph Tresvant going on over here.
You see, he putting barrettes and shit in his hair. I mean, or whatever them shits.
That's on some other stuff too.
Motherfucker sensitive, like he's sensitive, yo. And my thing is like, yo, I again, and you know who else was sensitive too? That's my dog too. Wale was sensitive. Like, yo, you could not take anything somebody say to him. Like, it's just, yo, nah. Like, hey, yo, man, if you in this industry, especially
and rap,
probably one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name, like, you better have tough skin. You better have tough skin.
Because you're also held at a different level.
Yeah.
You can't just put out an okay track. An okay track to people is bad.
Right.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's like, what happened? What's this?
And I agree with I agree with what Joe Budden is saying. Like, yo, Father Time is gonna catch up with you.
Right.
Like, at some point, like, you're pushing 40. You could be trying to live up and do what these young kids is doing. Yo, they're not gonna be believing you because they're gonna be like, oh, you old. You know what I'm saying? Like, you old. You about to be Sinbad and Medium Man. And that's showing my age. Because, like, if y'all don't get that reference, you just don't get it.
Sorry.
You're Sinbad and Medium Man. Like, at some point, like, you have your set of fans. Every rapper that we love, you know what I'm saying? They're not making music for these new kids. No, they're making music for their fans, the fans that grew up with them. Because them fans they ain't going nowhere. They're just getting older. You know what I'm saying?
And once he hits that 40-something mark, that same mute, because it's the same song for like 20-something year olds. Once he hit 40, there's no 20-year-old gonna be listening to it, especially because he makes a lot of music for women. They'd be like, yo, why is my dad rapping like this? That's what you become. You become that old nigga in the club. That's like, hey, little sweetness. Hey, little sweet thing. Like it's not that he has the ability, because he's done it, the ability to create something great. And that's one thing is I'm not the biggest Drake fan, but I remember when Drake came out and I'm saying, yo, this is gonna be crazy. For one, he was light skinned. And there's not a lot of real, call it what it is, real light skinned brothers that rap. Like you had guys like they, Dave's complexion, but I'm talking about, his ass damn near white. Yeah, I mean he is half and half. But the way he was able to come hit the scene, man, and he was so clean cut and stuff like that, there was a different level of expectation. And when you saw he can hold bars like that, you was like, holy shit. And then somewhere down the line, man, it just started going. I mean, if you're going to do the LL Cool J route, making songs for the ladies, make them. But even LL made great songs. Yes,
but it's the hunger. That's why they always tell you it's so hard to repeat the success of your first album.
Right.
Because if you really did it right and you got that payday, a lot of people don't have that hunger anymore.
And two, music is about evolution. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, if you think about all of our favorite rappers or just the rappers that we admire, right? You could look at, let's name these three. You could say Nas, you could say Jay-Z, and you could say, let's say Common, right? Only because these guys have put out albums or pretty recent albums, right? And you see the evolution from the first album to the last. And I guess Common ain't really a good choice because Common's pretty much in the pocket. Common was already that mature dude in this first
all right, album. I'm about to say you hold on now. You about to fight.
What I'm saying? No, that's what I said. Common was already there. So I don't really want to use him. But if you look at like Nas and Jay-Z, you see the evolution. You know what I'm saying? Again, I feel like Nas was one of them dudes too. Like he was already kind of mature when he was younger. But you see the evolution in the beats. You know what I'm saying? And you don't see him pandering to the youth. You see him talking to us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. With Jay-Z, he started out late, or when he got hot, he was older than most of the rest of his peers. But it's crazy because you can see him now when he's doing a 444 album. When he was talking about Money Cash Hoes, till he talking about OJ, the story of OJ, which is dope. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's dope to see the evolution. And then even if you a Jay-Z fan, like he said it before. He was like, lyrically, I'm Talib Kweli, y'all know that line, whatever. But he couldn't, he had to spoon feed that to you. Now he was able to give you a whole album of just him talking to you. Yeah, man. You see the maturity. He ain't out there selling drugs no more. Like, he got 3 kids. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk about the same stuff. And that's all that Joe Budden was talking about. You know what I'm saying? When you first started, you ain't had no kids. Now you a whole father. You know what I'm saying? What you talking about? You feel me? So it's just saying, like, let's see the evolution in your music.
And that's the part I wonder if, when he look himself in the mirror and he realizes he's at that point, is he willing to really go into that Jay-Z 444 bag, this new era Nas bag, where they are mature in their rhymes and just want to make the music? Be damn, he's made crazy amount of money. To Joe Budden's point, is he willing to make music, or he's capable of doing that, and then fear losing his fan base? Because that's why I feel like he does his stuff. He fears losing the fan base.
Just because you said the money thing, let me put this last thing out there. By the way, that one track that you had with those lines in it, if it's about Rihanna, let me tell you something. She's a billionaire, bro. She ain't worried about you.
Not at all.
She stands on her own. She ain't worried about what you spitting in a couple lines. That proves how salty you are. But that's where you had to go to make people pay attention to that track.
Oh, he's sensitive.
Think about that. Yeah, like she's on a whole different plane. Not even worried about what's going on.
I don't really think he care about, like, and when you talking rap, bro, you always want to be, it's about the respect. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, it's a combat sport. Like, yeah, you want the money, but I think also in some cases what's equally as important, and in more cases, and in some cases what's even more important is you want the respect. Because you want to go down and people like you want people to say, yo, you have bars. Like this is what the 90s was built off of. You know what I'm saying?
That's what the Ghost Rider talk is about.
Right. So and that's when you're like, you want to be in people's top 5. You know what I'm saying? You want to be in people's top 10. And I don't know if, like, honestly speaking, Drake ain't in a lot of people's top 10 or top 5. And it's just because he's so inconsistent. And I really don't feel like he cares about it. I think he cares about the popularity and the money. So I think when he goes back to he talking that GOAT talk, he's gonna
drive.
He's gonna tell you, or he's gonna come at it from the angle of who has more streams than me, or who sold more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we ain't talking records because it's the math ain't the same. Because it's streams now, but he's always gonna throw it back to that, like his impact. But ain't nobody care about the impact. Like I want to talk about let's talk about these bars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting when he does get to that age and you get to that conversation.
He at that age.
Well, that rock and roll Hall of Fame. I don't see his names being one of the ones that's gonna be popping up really quickly.
He will because it's rock and roll. But are you talking about like the barbershop talk? Nah,
no. Yeah,
that's what matters. And I mean, it's barbershop talk.
Even with that though, they are very selective about who they induct into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
He's gonna get in there.
He'll get in there.
They'll do it off of numbers.
They'll do that like Kirk Cousins getting in the Hall of Fame off of numbers.
No, he'll get in there. But he ain't getting the hood pass though.
Yeah. This is Hot Seat Podcast, episode 126. What happened to opinions? This is our opinions, man. And it's a really good opinion. I'm telling you, first person shooter, Earl, listen to it and then call me when you do. Call me when you do.
Nah, I'm good. I'm not even motivated.
I can see Dave's face as Dave's walking. We're like, okay, Cole, and he stopped.
Yeah.
And Carter was probably still walking, and Carter got choked. We're like, wait, what are we doing? It was like, I'm surprised you didn't call me.
I had to change the track. We didn't even get to the corner, son. We didn't even get to the corner. I was like, because I had to go and look because I thought it was a whole different track.
Nope.
I thought it was a whole different track. I was like, oh, I didn't even hear his verse. I thought it switched tracks.
Yeah, no,
that was the verse.
Yep.
That was yeah.
So something that we can talk about is even a lot of fun. You can choose to sit this one out if you want to, Earl. Loki season 2. Loki season 2 is out.
Go ahead and mute that joint on now.
Oh my God. Loki season 2 has dropped after roughly a year.
By the way, it's not because he's not a fan, it's because he hasn't
watched it yet. He hasn't watched it yet. But it dropped. I watched the episode 3 times because I dozed off the first 2 times. Not because it wasn't good, it's because my body just said, bro, go to sleep. But I watched the entire episode and they're picking up where they left off. And this is to Dave's point when he and I talked off mic. Just from the first episode, the energy in the episode was great. It was just great off that alone. Of course, Tom Hiddleston doing his thing. He's actually an executive producer on there too, which is dope because that means he has a little bit of control over his character. I love it, man. I love what I've seen so far. The pace was right. It had me on edge from the jump. I got some questions about, what we're going to see in episode 2. I think they're setting up this phase 6 pretty well just from off that one episode. But what's your take, man?
Look, we're going to have somebody on here soon that I will say is an MCU aficionado. This is what he does for a living and gets invited to the events and sees things early as far as the showings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so excited, bro. And the reason why I am is because I've always told y'all, for me, more than anything, more than the theatrics of it all, more than the cinematography of it all, if you just get that storytelling right, if you just get that storytelling right, a lot of other things will fall in place. But if you don't have that right, that's when I'm paying attention to every single other thing, and I'm finding out what else is wrong because you didn't capture me. You didn't capture my attention. Now I already love season 1, but then we're so far apart from that, and all the other stuff that was jumbled in between there. I was losing my taste for certain things within the MCU. But man, between Guardians, between Loki season 2, not so much the Marvels coming up. I hope it's good, but not so much the Marvels coming up. Deadpool 3, these are things that I'm so excited for these things to drop. Okay. But with Loki, you just see the pace. I mean, it's a continual episode from where they ended.
Yeah, it did.
That's honestly what it is.
Ain't nobody aged or nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem like there was any gap. You know how it's a new season and you're just like, okay, the storyline is similar, but no, you fall right back into where they left off without giving it away.
Yep.
And the pace of it was excellent.
It was good.
You're just sitting there. The whole time, you couldn't miss anything. You turn your head, have a conversation, you miss something. You just missed something. Now, for the people that are the streamers for like all the comic shows and things like that, they got the early release to be able to see episodes 1 through 4.
Right.
I didn't see them all. I saw the one that everybody else saw, but they saw 1 through 4, and I look at different reviews without non-spoiler reviews, and all of them were coming out saying, number one, this is going to be the best MCU Disney Plus series that has been put out, hands down, just from the first 4 episodes. And I think there's only 6.
Yeah.
And then they said they're just wondering where this is going to go after it, after the whole Loki thing is over, because you got to realize the whole thing on Loki. While Loki was a great villain, if you want to even call it that, because they have you feel for their villains, Thanos, Loki, everybody. Realize he was known as basically somebody else's brother.
Yeah.
Meaning Thor. He's like a side character. And now he'll probably have command in the biggest part in transition of the MCU.
Yep.
Between his first series, introducing shoot.
Kang.
Yeah, Kang, but you he has so many different variants.
Oh, you're talking about Sylvie and all these guys.
No. He who remains, I believe.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. So introducing him to now where Kang has went to now the variant of Kang that he's going to introduce in this one. Victor Timely. He's so important now.
Yeah.
Think about his reign, how much it has went up. From
since the beginning.
Thor's brother.
Yeah.
Thor's brother to ain't just Thor's brother no more. This is Loki. Like, I'm waiting for Loki. And I'm so happy that they made the decision. We said this before, to make this into a series. Because if it was a movie, you couldn't have got this.
Not everything. Not as in depth.
A lot of stuff.
Not as in depth. Yeah.
You would have missed a lot of stuff. So I don't know how you feel from it and what you've heard. But that's where I'm at on the Loki series.
I'm curious. I'm curious, yet apprehensive at the same time, because as great as it start, because I feel like we got burned the last couple of times. While I don't believe this will happen with Loki, because Loki plays such a vital part in this, I still, that's that 1% of me was like, don't mess this up. Like, don't give us this build up and then let us down.
Don't do Secret Invasion.
Don't do Secret Invasion. don't do Doctor Strange and you give us there and be like, I don't know, what did I just watch? Because you could have just put on Disney Plus. Like, I didn't have to watch Doctor Strange in the movie theater. You could have put that on Disney Plus. And I feel like somewhere the decisions are being made, like, well, what's good for a blockbuster? Certain ones don't need that. We probably could have put the Loki Pete. We need this because it's so drawn out. Okay, we got that. But things like, hell, even Moon Knight probably could have been a movie. It probably could have been a movie. Did we need that many episodes of it? Probably not. It's just certain things they made decisions on. So I'm hoping that all the way through, when we get to the end, we can roll right into this phase and be like, yes, this is what we wanted. This is how it should have been. Because as of right now, correct me if I'm wrong. Outside, we know Kang the Conqueror was in Ant-Man, and we met He Who Remains at the first Loki. Mm-hmm. But there has not been any other show we watched on Disney Plus that really pushed the phase forward. Even with WandaVision being connected to Doctor Strange, nothing really pushed it. It was there, but it didn't push you into anything. Because what we thought we was going to see in WandaVision, that changed.
Yeah. And by the way, since you brought it up, one of the things from WandaVision, it is said to not even be in fruition as far as if you heard about the series Vision Quest that they were going to do. Mm-hmm. From how everything's taken care of with Vision at the end of WandaVision. I've heard it's been canceled. Yeah. So, and that's part of that Bob Iger piece where he's coming in and going, I don't need that. Yeah, we don't need that series.
Trim the fat.
Yeah. I don't need you releasing that. I mean, hell, I'm going to tell you right now, Echo was probably right on the sense of being Batgirl.
Yes.
I don't care what y'all put into this. Y'all can just let this thing go. So that's why. And if you don't believe me on that, you think I'm just stating my opinion, why is it going to be the only series that is all released at once?
Right.
They're not even going to let you wait. It's going to be released on Disney Plus all at once. That's the Echo series. Because they just know. They know they're not going to be able to keep your attention from week to week. You waiting for this thing, so they're just going to throw it out there.
I'm not checking for
Echo. and just let you roll through it. There's parts of Echo I'm going to check for, especially if it involves any piece of Daredevil and Kingpin and them people in there. It's definitely going to involve Kingpin. But yeah, I think they already knew. So that's what I'm eager about, where I can see where they're heading with the fact of just trimming that fat, as you said. Trimming that fat. No, we don't need to. Nah, I heard even the was the witch Agatha?
Yeah,
like they were even changing something with that. Like, nah, let's do something a little different here. So we'll see. But between Guardians, The Last Guardians, between this Loki series, how I'm seeing it, between like I said, Deadpool 3, which hopefully from what I'm hearing is trying to keep its date of May of next year. I'm so hyped.
Yes.
I'm so hyped for those movies right there. Like I said, I'm not too hyped for next month's movie, The Marvels. I think it'll be just part 2 of Captain Marvel.
But we'll see. We'll
whatever
see
it is. But we'll see.
Yeah, man. Earl, you can come on back, man. Yeah, Earl's like, man, I don't even like this. I'm sorry, I had to move you off the stage and everything. Earl, come on back.
Oh man.
No. You still got the dot showing.
No, let's do what we doing.
No, he ain't there. Did he fall asleep on us? Oh, don't do that to me, Earl. Don't do that to me, sir. Don't. No, okay. I'll wait for him to come back on. In any case, though, so that case, so we got that going on, but there's something else that I was heavily excited about. Let me fix our screen here. There we go. Something that I was crazy excited about. So let's go ahead and get into a video game corner. Where's the drop? I don't know. It needs to drop. There we go. Video game corner. It is finally here. A series that I have been playing since its inception. And then it went over to a new horizon. Came back to the essence of what it is. Forza Motorsports. I turned 10 Studios, Microsoft Studios. If you are a fan, walk it back. When I grew up, the game to play was Gran Turismo. I think everybody remembers that off of PlayStation. And when that came out, it was so dope on PlayStation. Everything looked so real. And then I remember when Forza dropped, and I think Gran Turismo 6 or 7 came, and they kind of went by the wayside. fast forward, they did Forza Horizon. We played that a bit, Dave. It was just fun time. I think Earl might have played a couple times. Maybe not. The cars, the customization, all that. But when I tell you that Forza Motorsport is a masterpiece in the genre of simulation car games and photorealism, bruh, you can sit there all day just looking at cars, and because it lets you go under the hood inside, just looking at them. And we're talking about everything from McLaren and Cadillac, stuff that runs on the F1, which I'm a big fan of. Shout out to my man who threw up in his helmet doing the Qatar F1 game piece the other day. It got like 175 degrees in his car, man. But I from the moment I'm sitting there with the missus and my son, and they're watching me, and they're both like, this looks like, wait a minute, what are we looking at? And it's the actual piece itself, man. It's on Game Pass. It's a huge game, about 100 gigs. So you got to clear some space off your hard drive. But if you like driving games, I'm actually going, since Amazon got this whole deal thing, I'm going to have to find me a steering wheel because I'm going to need it for this. It's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful piece, man. It's exciting. I don't even know. I know, Dave, you may have touched it yet, but I don't know.
Now it's downloaded. I actually was going to say exactly what you just ended with. I need a car racing game that sparks my interest so much that it makes me go out and get the steering wheel, pedal, everything else like that.
Yep.
So maybe this is it. Maybe not. We'll see. But I am excited for it because the last one I did like. It's just finding the time because you get so entrapped in some of these games, man.
Yes, man. Yes.
Especially the driving ones. You'll play and all of a sudden it's nighttime. You're like, wait a minute.
Easy.
I had shit to do. So yeah, shout out to Carl. I know he does the truck simulation games.
Yeah.
And he does that all day. So we'll see if Forza does that for me, but I am excited about it.
It's still. What about you, Earl? You don't seem like a big car driving guy. I know.
Yeah, I'm not the sad thing is the last car game that I really like, and this is farther than that. You talking about on Sega Saturn, Daytona.
Oh wow. Okay.
Ooh,
Daytona USA.
Yeah, I do remember Daytona.
I remember that. Yep.
No, I do remember Daytona.
You know what I'm saying? And that was the last one that I really like. Other than that, I'm not like really like a driving game type person.
It's a few games that's out there. You got the Life of Pi. Go ahead.
Hold on, but I think Earl does have something to talk about during Video Game Corner, though.
Yes, I do.
And just segue wise, I know we discussed this already on a couple shows, but
I will bring it up. I will bring it up every week that I'm playing this game until they fix it. Every week we have Video Game Corner until they fix this bug, which they have the technology to do. I will bring it up. NBA 2K24, I need you to come to the front of this congregation because I am frustrated that your graphics look good, but it's always something that y'all gotta mess with that wasn't broke the last game. Why is it that I have a 7'6" center who cannot make a freaking layup?
No, he doesn't dunk.
And he doesn't dunk. Why are layups so difficult on
he doesn't
this
have
game?
to jump.
He don't.
Why? Fix it. I can't even shoot. I gotta shoot 3-pointers and jump shots because a layup isn't a gimme. Like a layup isn't a gimme with people who layups are gimmies with in the real league. So NBA
layups and the shots.
Yeah, like NBA 2K, like take that meter off of these layups, please. Like, do better and fix this. And I'm gonna continue to voice my opinion about it until y'all fix it. Please fix this shit.
Listen, we were playing each other, right? Earl has what's that new boy? Victor Wembanyama or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was on a fast break, so he thought. He gets to the paint. Mind you, fast break. I'm behind him. I'm not too far behind, but he could have easily finished it. Not only did he not go for the dunk, he turned that joint into a finger roll, Patrick Ewing style in the playoffs and missed.
Yes. Yes.
And we're all sitting there looking at each other like, you know it's bad when your opponent who wants you to miss is looking at the screen like, what the hell?
Right. Like, what happened?
Just happened?
What happened?
It shouldn't be that way. Like, these are some obvious things that, come on, man. It ain't our first rodeo playing these things.
It ain't.
I will add this into Video Game Corner. For everybody that is COD fans, I believe Thursday, the beta edition will be coming out for Modern Warfare 3. Hopefully they let us play some of the zombie maps and zombie mode. Take a note on what we just said. Don't fuck up zombies. Don't paint no new pitch. Don't do Vanguard. Do not do Call of Duty Vanguard too. Do not do that, because I swear to you, I will just keep the CODs that I have and never buy another one again. So yeah, we're gonna see how it is. That's the beta edition for anybody that has already reserved the game, which I have. So I will be rocking. I believe it's Thursday, 1 o'clock Eastern time, 1 p.m. Eastern time that it opens up.
I got one little thing. Even though I'm not playing 2K like you guys are, but I will say this, and this has been a gripe of mine that I've had for the longest time, and that's only because I've seen certain athletes grace the cover multiple times. If y'all don't put the man himself back on one of these, I don't know what the issue is. I don't know, but you guys started off 2K with the answer himself, Allen Iverson. I still have NBA 2K1, 2K1, and 2K2 on my Dreamcast. They all have Allen Iverson gracing the cover. I still have my Dreamcast, but I know they've seen his statue, in the My Player Park thing. I don't know I don't know if they're waiting for like some big grandiose edition of it at some point, but he deserves to be one of the cover athletes for NBA 2K. That's just my personal opinion. I've seen Jordan several times. I know they did the Mamba edition, stuff like that. They've had some guys up there that I didn't think even deserve to be on the cover. Allen Iverson deserves to be on the cover of NBA 2K. Point blank, there's no debate that. Like, I don't see why not. That's just me.
All right. That's just your opinion.
Yep. Yeah. Of course, man, this is the Hot Seat Podcast, episode 126. What happened to opinions? Of course, this podcast wouldn't be what it is if we hadn't taken our conversation from our Xbox Live conversation. We're going to go to the podcast platform. I do have one announcement, a change since last time. So, of course, I've been promoting on here at the behest of my two brothers here, my radio shows on AMP. If you guys are in the know, that AMP will be closing up the app and its doors on October 31st. Me being ahead of everything. When I first came over to AMP, I had brung my show over from my internet radio station, Exactly Radio, and it was fun. I've grew my audience a bit on AMP, but I've always been a person to say, make sure that you have your own thing. That being said, the Morning Hump is back on Exactly Radio. 6 a.m. Monday mornings. You can find me Exactly Radio. You can find the link actually on my Instagram page itself there. And once some things are cleared up with some licensing point aspects, then the Over the Hump will be back Wednesdays at 5 p.m. So we're doing our same thing, different setup. You won't be able to chat and stuff with me, but I got some things planned in this case to make it interactive with you guys. But it's traditional radio. It's wide open. I play what I want. The library is there. But the Morning Hump, you join me, is sports talk, radio, entertainment, news and stuff and everything. 6 a.m. Exactly Radio. And that is broadcast from the studios here at Sinai Circle Creatives, which I own. So these doors ain't shutting no time soon. Just saying. Yeah. And of course on Sundays, 9 a.m. football talk with us three, giving all our breakdown and analysis. We'll be back this week. We missed you guys this past Sunday, but we'll be back, full throttle, 9 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch live. Chime in for the chat, for the picks. If you guys didn't saw, Dave is pulling away for the season. I'm not sure what the hell is going on now. I feel like I don't know anything about football anymore, but we're going to find out, I guess. Yeah. And I might as well, while we're ready. Hey, sign up for Hot Seat Podcast Plus. Give yourself the opportunity for the minor cost starting at $2.99 to be able to input content for the show, meaning you're going to be a producer for the show, have the opportunity to be a guest co-host on the show, and the opportunity to get some dope free merch. So it's the Hot Seat Podcast Plus. Subscribe. It's no commitment. Starting at $2.99. Do what you want. Share the show. Everything else in between. Yeah. It's the Hot Seat Podcast, man. So, of course, again, this podcast wouldn't be what it is if we hadn't taken our Xbox Live conversation, bring it over to the podcast world. And then we're doing what we do now, giving our opinions. So you can find me on Xbox at Sanaa2X. Forza Motorsport, we here. Starfield, been playing that. Great. I can change the view so I ain't worry about getting motion sickness. And City Skylines is on its way itself. So you talking about Dave talking about losing time? That's when I will start in the morning and I'll lose the whole entire day. That's how that's happening. So Sanaa2X, man. What you got?
Look, the storyteller. I'm pretty happy right now because by the time this comes out, you'll have a couple more hours within that day to order stuff on Prime Day. I will have my new mic by then, so I will be premiering that mic at Football Talk.
Nice.
Pretty excited. Other than that, as Earl knows, just buying senseless stuff that I probably don't need, but hey, it's just what I do. So holla at me.
NJ Fatboy 973. Currently on that Call of Duty. Struggling through this NBA 2K24 and teetering with the Madden. And I do want to say before I get off of here, I am excited and I forgot all about it, but that the Basement series is coming out. It's actually out today.
Yes.
If anybody know about like the Basement that used to be on BT, I'm excited about that. It's like a 3 or 4 part series. And then I guess next BT
Plus or BT.
No, it's BT. No, it's on BT.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it came on right before these Struggle Rap Awards, and I guess next week we'll talk about that. Because I have a problem. I have a few problems with this.
I ain't watch it. It came on tonight, right?
Yeah, it's on right now.
Oh.
That's why I keep turning my head. So
gotcha.
Make sure y'all watch for next week.
Got it. Do I need to?
You know what? You can
probably get my opinion right now.
You'll probably have some stuff on IG that you can just Google and it'll be enough for you to gather.
I got you. Let me just see what the ciphers look like.
Yeah.
So my entire mood just changed because I was trying to find my entire mood just changed. So City Skylines 2 will be fully constructed and ready to play on October 24th, 2023. Only a couple of weeks away for the PC.
What?
The console version has been delayed until spring of 2024.
Oh no, man, you lying.
I'm looking at it.
Been promoted.
Right.
Nah.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm literally looking at it right now. And this is as of September 28th, which is only a few days ago. So, yeah.
You know what? I haven't seen it being promoted either.
And the crazy thing is, I was looking at it last night because I was telling Javen, I said, let me see if when the pre-install is. And it says City Skylines will be fully constructed and ready to play October 24th. However, the console version of the game has been delayed to sometime spring 24.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. You right? Yeah.
All right, that's the hot seat, guys. We out. Fuck that game. We out.
Why? It's the hot seat.
You're listening to the Hot Seed Podcast.